In the news this week, the UK's terror watchdog highlights the potential impact on Christians of the government's extremism plans, critics slam proposals to ban smacking in Wales, and a gambling addict shares his harrowing story. Hello. People who practice their faith in a conservative way could face police investigations under a government extremism bill, the terrorism watchdog has warned. David Anderson QC, the independent reviewer of terrorism legislation, cautioned that people who are miles away from terrorism could be caught up by a broadly worded law on extremism. Speaking on BBC Radio 4, Anderson explained that a broad definition could lead to police investigations of those with a conservative religious outlook or non-mainstream political views.
I think silence coerced by law, as an American judge once put it, is a very dangerous business, particularly when you're looking at something as vague as extremism. I've not met anyone who can really define it in a satisfactory way.
The government promised a consultation on its controversial extremism plans in the Queen's speech last year. Proposals for a law which would criminalise parents for smacking their children have come in for fresh criticism from family advocates. They were speaking as UK government ministers added an unannounced amendment to the Wales Bill, stating that the Welsh Assembly has the right to legislate on parental discipline. The amendment is seen to have clarified the Welsh Assembly's right to legislate on the issue, bringing the First Minister's plans to ban smacking a step closer. The latest move drew criticism that parents could be criminalised and dragged through the courts in contentious and costly prosecutions. Norman Wells of the Family Education Trust said it is parents and not national governments who bear responsibility for caring for their children, nurturing them and correcting them where necessary. His concerns were echoed by Jill Kirby, a writer and family policy analyst, who cautioned that a law against smacking conflates mild punishment with violent assault. In reality, there is no connection or similarity between a smack by a loving parent and violent abuse. A man who lost his last £210 gambling in a bus station has shared his story to warn people of the dangers of gambling. Kane from Huddersfield began gambling as a 15-year-old and realised he had to stop when he hit rock bottom and had suicidal thoughts 6 years later. Speaking to the BBC, he described his battle with addiction.
Yesterday I had no intention of going to the bookies, but I had to go catch a bus home from the town centre, and there's a bookies in the bus station. And people think, oh, just stop. But sometimes I physically can't stop myself from putting it in, like I'll be shaking and sweating and all types of weird tics. But I just can't stop myself from doing it at times. It's a horrible cycle because it destroys everyone that you touch.
Now 21, he described the damaging effects that gambling has more widely on personal relationships and society.
All you see on TV these days is gambling adverts, and it's all good saying gamble aware, but people don't gamble aware. They gamble the senses away because they don't know what to do. People lose their houses, people lose their jobs over gambling.
And finally, twins given a 1 in 10 chance of surviving when they were born at 23 weeks have recently celebrated their first birthday. Riley and her sister Robin were born prematurely after their mother, Claire Cunliffe, went into early labour in November 2015. It is currently legal in Great Britain to abort children up to 24 weeks or up to term if the baby will be born with a disability. Claire had been devastated when she was told by doctors that her babies only stood a 1 in 10 chance of surviving. Robin weighed 1 pound and 3 ounces at birth, while her sister weighed just 15 ounces, but they now both weigh a healthier 14 pounds each. Claire said it was staggering just how small they were, but they were perfectly formed. Riley's hand was only the size of the tip of my little finger. She also said that the girls were developing normally and can sit up, laugh and giggle. Well, that's all for this week. For regular updates and information on all our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.